Lorraine, thanks so much for taking just a few minutes to connect with us and help the Behind the Lids community get to know you a little bit more. So, welcome.
Thank you so much, David. Good to be here.
Yeah. So, Lorraine, people want to know about the facilitators and leaders that are putting on workshops and classes, and you've been putting on the Max Meditation System for. Is it called System? Is that right?
Yeah, it is. The Max Meditation System, exactly.
Yeah, every Monday at 6 p.m. for a while now. So obviously people are getting to know you, but tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into meditation or spirituality or psychic abilities? Give us a little bit of background on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. My story goes back a little bit further. I actually found meditation when I was at Orange Coast College in Costa Mesa. I had a wonderful communications professor named Barbara Bullard, who first started to teach me about spirituality and crystals and the chords that we make with people and really viewing ourselves as a spiritual being.
At,
And
at Orange Coast College?
I know, right? I
Really?
know. Yeah,
That's
she was
great.
the comms professor there. She also did like speech workshops and had a speech class there for the students.
Yeah.
So it was quite early on. This was back in 2008. And the reason I was so interested is because I was trying to, heal myself from, some health stuff I had earlier in life. Like I wanted to really have a good foundation of healing and strength. So I started to, dabble in spirituality and meditation.
Hmm.
And I actually found the Max Meditation System when I started to study with the Modern Mystery School. And it was handed down to me in a really beautiful 5-day Healers Academy in London, England. And after it was handed down, I decided I was going to experiment. So I took it to work. I started to show my colleagues or have them join me for meditation during lunch. And it was actually quite a strict corporate environment. So the fact that they were happy for me to do this was great. And people loved it. They started to come every single week, regularly. And, if I wasn't there because I went on vacation, they would follow up like, oh, when are you coming back? When are we going to do meditation again? And since then, I've taken it to different corporations. And when I moved back to Orange County last year, I found Behind the Lids, and I thought, what a great gift, or what a wonderful way to teach people how to meditate more deeply.
Yeah. So I heard you say you were searching for some sort of modalities, tools to help you through some health, physical healing. What are the benefits that you have personally experienced through meditation and spirituality and so forth?
Oh gosh, I could talk about that all day.
Yeah.
Um, so what I wanted to do, why I had sought it out is, I had physically gotten better, but I wanted to heal some of the emotional and mental things that came along with being physically sick for a while.
Mm.
So I found through this class with my communications professor, Barbara Bullard, the Modern Mystery School. And the mystery school, the very first foundational activation or healing is called the life activation. Because I wanted to be really well mentally and emotionally. And the life activation actually balanced me out energetically and then placed the light into my DNA. Because your DNA scientists say you're only using about 3 to 5% of it. And then they say the rest is junk, or you could say dormant DNA. So the life activation allows your DNA to be expressed in, like, it's like that divine spark is awakened up. So a lot of times you're going to have your spiritual gifts open, or you're going to have a lot more clarity in life, or you're just going to feel a lot braver. So after that, I really liked the results that I felt immediately after the life activation. So I ended up taking a 2-day course called Empower Thyself, where I learned the most incredible holy rituals. And a ritual is something that can, a ritual allows you to, disperse energy or command energy. It really helped me learn about myself a lot more, my negative ego, how things really affected me, and how I could show up in the world in a much stronger way. And at the end, it was an energy transfer. as well. So I had 10 times the energy, 10 times the power, 10 times the authority to make some massive changes in my life. And it sounds like a big claim after 2 days, but everything changed. I
Mm.
was a completely different person after that.
Wow. How did your family or friends respond to you having this transformation?
I did keep it to myself for a little while because I was really young. I was barely out of my teenage years. I ended up quickly after that moving to London, England, where I had stayed for about 13 years. And when I came back, it's been the most time I've actually spent with my family. And, you know, my brother said that since I've come back after I've had all of my activations, initiations, healings, uh, I've actually made it feels like the family dynamic has changed so much for the better.
Mm.
Um, and I grew up Catholic. I did all my sacraments, in a religious household, really. And, my family and friends can't deny the changes that they've seen in me, that, I'm very stable and, I don't get swayed by things very easily. And I'm always very centered and balanced in myself. So that has been the biggest change. And yet it was a lot of years because I was away, but the feedback has been great because I was curious about that myself.
Yeah. Wow. So you've had all of these experiences and, of course, education. Now you're offering Max Meditation System on Monday nights, and you also have a workshop that's coming up called Spiritual Intuition Development. And so, before we talk about the workshop coming up, talk to us about the Max Meditation on Mondays. How is Max Meditation different than maybe other meditation people have experienced? And if they came on Monday night, what would they experience with you?
So I would say the biggest difference is that we actually do go through a full relaxation during the max meditation system. We use a fusion of techniques from neurolinguistic programming, yoga, mind acrobatics, and a fusion of Eastern and Western techniques. And the max meditation system was created by somebody named Gudni Gudnissen. And he had traveled the world and studied with a lot of different meditation teachers and meditation masters to come up with this system to actually have a full alchemical experience that happens with the participants, to actually have that full body and mind relaxation. And then we do have active meditation, passive meditation, a visualization, and then we come back into the room. And this all happens in about 45 minutes. And, we all have an energy structure. I'm there, so the participants are sitting in my energetic field, in my aura. So I'm also holding the space for them. So that is very different from an app. Or I've tried a couple meditations on apps, and they're great, but they're very quick. So it is the guidance through the whole 45 minutes that I think really helps people achieve that deep relaxation state and to slow down our brain waves into the alpha state.
And I've actually participated once with you in class, and it really was incredibly relaxing. And it is completely different. It's not just relaxing, you're taking the participant to a place to experience something, feel something, hear something that only they could experience by going to that place of depth. That is very different than just you're feeling relaxed. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It's a max experience. Come on now.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah, it is meditation to the max. There you go. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Very good. Yeah. Okay, so you've got this workshop coming up called Spiritual Intuition Development. Now, what exactly how would you describe spiritual intuition, and why would someone want to develop their spiritual intuition?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have our physical senses that we're all really familiar with, like sight, touch, sound, taste, but we also have our spiritual senses. And just how how humans are made and designed, there are subtle energies that are as real as you and me, that without spiritual training, we remain quite ignorant to. because our mind can be very, very thick. I mean, everything from thoughts to, social conditioning that we've had to, not being so familiar with what is possible. So we look at, in this class, three areas: clairvoyance, which is psychic sight; clairaudience, which is, psychic hearing; and clairsentience, which is feelings, psychic feelings. So in this workshop, I am going to go through each of those senses, and then we are going to practice together. And I'm going to be handing down tools and techniques that you can actually also, bring home and practice yourself in order to really start to develop those spiritual gifts. And we all have spiritual gifts, whether or not we are aware of it or admit it. And in fact, I was reading online that 70% of decisions from CEOs and executives are made on gut feeling. And then it's later backed up by data. And it's only, to be able to develop that is something that would help us in decision making, or, realizing, what is real, or even having a deeper sense of self and realizing that we are so much more than just our physical senses.
So you're helping people understand spiritually how to see, how to hear, and then also how to feel. And I want to make sure that people hear the benefits to this. So, one, I'm imagining somebody who would want to come to this workshop would be somebody who's already very spiritual, and they're wanting to elevate this so that perhaps they can help other people. Right? Helping other people is one way to utilize these spiritual tools and gifts. But what are the other benefits? Let's just say somebody who's not a coach, they're not a healer, they're not somebody who's in that space, but maybe they're just kind of dabbling in this and then they're just curious about their own spiritual intuition. How could this benefit their daily life?
Oh, there's definitely a couple of ways. I would say, I would found that this has really helped with decision making, because we are always so stimulated from different things. So it is understanding, of course, observing through our physical senses, but then also observing and understanding through our spiritual senses, because energy doesn't lie. So you can feel tension with somebody, even if it's unspoken. Or some people might walk into a room and think, oh man, this feels a bit funky. And it could be because somebody just had a fight in there 15 minutes ago, and you
Yeah.
unbeknowingly like just walked in there and, feel that tension. So it helps you understand to see what is yours versus what's coming somewhere else. So that is going to help, any of the participants, or anybody who comes to the class, understand what is theirs versus somebody else. And it really helps with that discernment piece. And many times, as well as another benefit, we have one of these psychic gifts that are sharper than the other. Someone might be a lot more clairsentient, but they would like to be more clairvoyant. This is a way to develop that clairvoyance and have the tools to take home for you to practice at any time you want.
Awesome. Okay, so Sunday, November 7th. I'm sorry, Sunday, November 20. Let me say it again. So Sunday, November 27th, from 1 to 4 p.m. at Behind the Lids in Costa Mesa. People can sign up right at right at the link that you see here in the video. And every Monday night, 6 o'clock. I know you're off for a couple nights here toward the middle of November 2022, but you'll be back and for Max Meditation. So, Lorraine, thank you so much for just giving us a little glimpse of who you are. If you were to share one thing that was maybe on your heart today for people that are watching, like one thing that you want to just leave them with, whether it's about meditation or about spiritual intuition, what would you want to share with them?
Oh, I would say I wanted to share a message of optimism and hope, because things have been tough the last couple of years, and the job market, the recession, today's midterms, people might be feeling nervous about that, but there is so much hope because we are so much more than just our physical body. And I want to be able to share with people the tools, the knowledge, to explore what is more than just this. So I wanted to share that message of hope that there is so much more than meets the eye to this life.
So good. Thank you so much, Lorraine. And if you're watching this, hey, we really encourage you. One, check out Max Meditation on Monday night, 6 p.m. here at Behind the Lids in Costa Mesa. And then also Spiritual Intuition Development Workshop on Sunday, November 27th, 1 to 4. Click the link and join us for the workshop. So thanks, Lorraine.
Thank you. Hope to see you there.